So I'm on the 8 Caillou. I found that a little confusing at first when I signed up for this because I don't really know much about the belt system. Because I didn't really do anything in the way of martial arts. Most of my extracurricular activities when I was younger was skateboarding, snowboarding, and by that I just mean getting hurt all seasons of the year. I'm just burning up time here. All right, so let's pick one of these to do. I'm looking for fundamentals. I figured out that I would just start like I have absolutely no idea what I'm doing. So if I dwell in the fundamentals for a few of these until I rank up next, then I feel like I might be in better shape. So my next rank is 7. I think I have to just keep doing these until I fill this in. I'm not entirely sure, but regardless, we gotta do these. The ones that have issues reported means that sometimes the tests don't work right. So I'm actually going to avoid those. See, this one's debugging and refactoring, vexing, vanishing values. This one's got some troubleshooting involved, and this one is Python. Fuck it, you know what? Let's do this one. This one looks like it's got some troubleshooting involved. I feel like this is something I should do. Confusion, perplexity, a mild headache. These are all just a sample of things that you have experienced in the last few minutes while trying to figure out what is going on in your code. How many times have I sat down to write a script just to find out that I did something really stupid or didn't do something right? The task is very simple. Accept a list of values and another value. Then return a new list with every value multiplied by n. For example, 1, 2, 3, and 4 should result in 4, 8, 12. All right, so I think what we'll do with this is things like this, I have a hard time reading between these lines. I don't know if it's because I'm ADHD as fuck or if I have focus issues or what the case may be, but sometimes I have to go through and read these a bunch of times. So list comes into list, LST. So this is a single value and this is a list. So this is a list of integers and then this is a single integer. Here's the test case down here. Okay, all right, good. I had to work that backwards for a minute. I don't know why. I think it just, I don't know, something didn't hook up right in my brain. I like how print was the way that I'm debugging this, which is funny because I think a lot of people that just get started out with writing Python or really any program language is when you're trying to see like what an output looks like, or if you want to like picture it like a bunch of pipes and then you need a window into the pipe to see kind of what's going through it, like a little check window. And you're looking in there like, like a bread maker. Bread maker's got like a little window on top. You can look down at your dough. This is kind of the same thing. People do that naturally. Naturally, we want to see a process work. So that's why that print is there. So if we go and we test this right now, it's basically going to tell us, what's it going to tell us? It's going to give us these logs. Should work for non-empty lines. Inputs 1, 2, 3, and then 4. Result is 4, 8, 12. What did you do? How did this iteration wind up going all 5s? All right, so let's look at R. So now these here, so for those of you who are new to this, these are what are called test cases. So what you do is you write a bunch of automated tests, and you can feed these things into functions in a program. And then if the expected result comes out, which would be this here in this case, then the test passes. And if it doesn't, then the test fails. This type of testing in the wild is used for when you have a program that you wrote and you're not going to touch it for a little while, and then some other developer comes along to do work on it, update it later, patch it, whatever the case may be. This basically tells you if a change you made broke something or not. Like, these are all really important. These are important things in like a well-written test suite, especially for really important production applications is absolutely critical in the development process, because you could change something somewhere and then somewhere else all of a sudden what should be an integer is being passed as a string, And that can be problematic. I don't work on teams big enough where I need to test anything like this, but I do still try to write tests in my code. I still don't fully understand testing, but I think that's just because I personally have not collaborated on teams of the size where that sort of thing is important. Most of the stuff I've written has just been like one-off shit. All right, so what do we got going on here? So inputs. Okay, and then our result is x times n for x in list. And then print result is list result. Oh, okay, so 2 of these passed. So this one passed. That's good, we like that. But then, like, some of these didn't. So I'm wondering if... Oh, okay. I don't know. X times n for x in list. It doesn't seem right. I'm going to rewrite this. Okay, so I'm going to do... Let's space this out. I like to space things out a bit so I can see kind of what's going on. So we have the list coming in for I in... And I'm just choosing I as my variable. They had x in this before. I like I. Fight me. Okay, so for I in list. Now I know I'm not doing something right here, but I just want to start. One of the best way I can describe to solving problems like these is to just take a couple of whacks at it. You got this test button, down here, there. Down there, see a little test button to the left of attempt. That's the button you want. So n right here, so this variable that we're bringing in here, that's scoped to this function. So this is basically all this just happens in a single function. Okay. For I in list. Oh, you know what? We're going to need another list. We're going to need a different list. So what we're going to do is we're going to call this the... result list. And I like underscores. Underscores are PEP8. I don't like camel case. I see camel case, I get really mad. Here. Use a lowercase single letter, word, or words. Separate words with underscores to improve readability. X var, my var. Okay, this is PEP8. All right, so this is a result list. Result list equals, and we're going to instantiate an empty list, and to do that we just do these little guys here, these two little square brackets. So now we got a fresh list. For I in list, we're going to first do and call this compute numbers. Now let's make this fun. Compute stuff. Okay. And compute stuff is going to be I times n. Okay, so n scoped up here at the function level, or should be able to pass into this for loop that we're going to do here. Because what we want to do, and this is just me talking this out loud, we want to iterate through the list, and to iterate through that list, we got to do it through a loop. I'm sure there's probably another way to do this, and I'll find out when I go to submit this and I see all the other answers that other people submitted. And now we're going to do result list append, because this is a list. I think we should be able to do that. Okay. So now every time this runs, it's going to, we take this value here and we append it to the list. Because again, empty list, and then every time it runs, it appends it. And then at the end of this, let's clean this up a little bit. Okay, so instead of this, what we want to do is we don't need to do that like hard type declaration because Python is a dynamically typed language. And we know that this is a list. And then we should just be able to return result list. Okay, so let's see what this does. Oh, holy shit, they all worked. All right. Oh, guys. Oh, this is wonderful. I needed this today. Okay, so these are the initial test cases. Now when we attempt it, it's going to like smash it with a bunch of other ones. So hopefully when we attempt it, it comes out good. Here we go. Oh, past all 37. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. All right, completed in 1.35 milliseconds. That's not bad. Not bad at all. Let's see. Yeah, 0.9. And one's in 0.3. Leading 1.15. Yeah, look at that. Look at that. Less than 2 milliseconds. I like that. All right, so that kind of solves my time complexity issue, I guess. Cool. Usually when you iterate through a list, so here's how time complexity works. Let's bring one up here. Let's do big O. Oh, here we go. Okay, there we go. So we have input size and we have time. So as the input size grows, so does the time. That's O of n. And that's what it looks like happened with mine, right? So so if we go back up here, let's shrink this. Let's look at these one by one. So for the non-empty lists, so the lists that have stuff in them, 0.9 milliseconds. Empty lists, 0.03, right? So nothing, 0.03, has stuff, 0.9, and that's with 5 assertions. This one's 2 assertions. And then this one has 30 assertions, and that's 1.15. So the big O for this one should be O of n. Now, in a perfect world, you would be able to do something like this. O of 1, right? Where input size and time, it doesn't matter, right? You could have like unlimited input size and it still takes the same amount of time to run. But that's not feasible in most cases. What you don't want is this one. This is the one you don't want. This one's like kind of efficient. This one's pretty efficient. So log n. And then this one's just like built to do one thing and one thing really, really well. So anyway, so what we just did, O of n. It's good to know that stuff. So this is fantastic. I am so glad that I crushed this one today. In my first go around, I might add. I'm actually pretty fucking stoked about this one. Sometimes you just need that real easy, that real easy first thing to start your day off right or to end your day. Let's see, what did other people do? I like this because this actually, unlike the other one that I was using, this one you can actually go through and you can look and you can see what other people have submitted. I see everyone, oh no, this guy left the print statements in. Oh, that's interesting. What did he do here? He just changed the bracket type on this one. I mean, I guess you can do that. I don't like this. This is difficult to read. I like to look at my loops like this. I like to look at a loop and see what's hanging off of it. That just, I don't know, that's more intuitive to me. I could see why people want to do it this way, though, to minimize the number of lines. I don't know, to each their own, I guess. Maybe somebody could tell me why this is the better way to go. Let's see, this one here. Oh, wow, this one they did that, but they just like put it right in the return statement. So this one's just like, this one right here is like the no bullshit. Oh, look at the, oh, hey, someone used Lambda here. I don't know how to use Lambda. I should know how to use it because that's going to be important. Oh, I'm so excited for this fucking banana bread. Delicious. This guy also did Lambda. There's a couple Lambdas in here. I should know how to use Lambda. I've decided. Okay. Yep, here we go. Look at this. Someone did pretty much the same thing I did, almost. Instantiate that separate list and return the clean list. This person is just like, comment out everything, we're going to town here. And you can like upvote these based on like best practices. I don't know about this one. This is a pretty wordy explanation. Let's read this one out. When you use the syntax x for x in list, you create a generator expression. This is a concise way to create a generator, which is an iterator that yields items on the fly. A generator can be iterated over only once. This is because it does not store all the items in memory. Instead, it generates each item on the fly and forgets it after yielding. So this would reduce space complexity. Once a generator is exhausted, you cannot use it again. To iterate over the same sequence of items again, you need to create a new generator. I can see that. I kind of like mine better because I made it. I like the detail I went into on this one though. Oh, this one's crazy. So here's what this person's doing. When you're learning how to do this stuff, there's a lot of different ways to do things, whether or not they're right or whether or not they're standard or accepted things. It's a different story. This is the kind of thing where, you know, if this was one of your junior devs and they did this on a production app, you would probably be pretty pissed. So here's what's going on. So here is the result. Okay. And then he's returning he's returning the results. So the return statement's all the way up here. So like this is right. I don't know about all that. And then print C. Like what? Why are you printing this out? You don't need any of this. Like you already did it. You did it. It's up here. It's done. One more brush stroke can ruin the painting. Wow, this guy just put it all in one line. That's not the most readable thing in the world. That's not how, I don't know what actually is Pepe on Python. Let's go back and look at that. Let's look at the style guide. This is something that I think everybody should have to look at. I actually looked at this because where I come from, we have a bunch of standards. So in my standards, I mean, like when you, like, how do you punch down a cable? Like what I was talking about before with having to punch stuff down to a phone block. Or like when you're making, do I have one? Here I don't. When you're making an Ethernet cable, there's a certain way to do it. There's other ways you could do it, but they're not going to be right. There's like a bunch of different ways to configure a network, but you know, there's kind of like a accepted pattern of how these things are done. And that's kind of what PEP 8 is. So PEP 8 is like that for code, and all the languages have this standard. So, and this is the PEP 8 style guide for Python. So, like, so correct, like, okay, like this is what like a function should look like. So going back here, like this, it's supposed to kind of look like this, right? You have your function, then you have your indents, and then you have your loop, and then you have your indent, and then you have your return statement. But you don't always have to have a return statement. This one doesn't. This one just, when the function's done, is done. Right, so it's doing the thing, and it's printing this out. Hanging indent should add a level. So that's this here, so you don't just bunch it all up in one line for readability. When you break things into two lines, you want everything to be like, you know, you want everything to be tight and easy to read. And once you see a lot of code that follows this convention, it's a lot easier when you're scrolling really fast. Our one-liner buddy here, this is not Pep 8. This one's got 2 return statements on here. I've never seen healthy code that's had 2 return statements. Oh, hey, here's mine. Can I vote for myself? Oh, should I? Can? Look at that. Okay, yeah. 1 vote for myself. Wow, I'm really glad I did that. And I'm really glad that it went the first time. Sometimes it takes me a few to get these to go. So, all right. Cool. All right, guys. Well, I think I'm probably going to... I realize I've just gone through 3, 2, 1... I realize I spent all my time talking about that one and then going through and looking at the other solutions. But, that's kind of what that's what we got going on here. That's that's me training for, doing, trying to do one of these coding interviews. So obviously I need to level up a great deal. I feel like I need to, at the very least, make rank of master. I don't need to be like... I don't need to be like the highest level of Don. I just, Don 1 should be fine. I feel like at that point I would be able to sit for one of these. I think at that point I'd be able to go on hacker rank and confidently go through those and then go and take a coding interview. I think that's what my path is going to be. I think I'm going to do this. I'm going to master up, and then I'm going to do hacker rank, and then I'm going to level up there. Then I'm going to go and I'm going to start trying to hit some of these coding interviews. Well, with that said, people, I must be on my way because I have bread in the bread machine, and it's going to be dinner time fairly soon. And I got to get some more on that banana bread. So, thanks a lot, guys. Thanks for hanging out with me. Peace out, and see you guys soon.